Did you know that peace lily can be a vital component to a fish tank or riparium's water filter system? But the way that most people use it for this purpose only utilizes half of this plant's potential. Well, today I want to show you 3 ways that we can grow peace lily in a fish tank or riparium and maximize its excellent water filtering capabilities, and also reduce the need for water changes. We will look at how to select and prepare peace lily for life in the water, 3 different ways of growing it in the tank or riparium, how to tell if it's making a difference as part of your water filter system, and also how it improves the biological filtration inside your tank. When selecting a peace lily, make sure that you choose a mature plant similar to this one behind me. One mistake I see people make is they take a cute little peace lily and they want to see if it can help reduce water changes in a 55-gallon tank with 50 or more fish. Well, it's not going to work that well. You need a large plant. Well, now let's prepare our mature peace lily by washing all of the potting soil thoroughly away from the roots, and go ahead and divide the clump, which is actually made up of many individual plants growing together. Be sure to clean the leaves off thoroughly as well. There could be residues of fungicide or fertilizers left over from the plant nursery that we don't want in our tank. I like to use more plants than I think I will need, and I'll tell you why later in the video. Now keep in mind that your peace lily could experience transplant shock from going to a soil environment to water. The leaves may wilt, but this is a normal part of the process. Over the next few weeks, you can also expect to see roots die off and new ones replacing them, but this is also a normal part of the transition phase. Well, if you are enjoying this content so far, please take a moment to give me a thumbs up and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on my latest videos. Well, let's get back to talking about peace lily. Well, you've selected your peace lily and now you've prepped it. So now let's talk about 3 different ways of growing it in the tank. Well, the most common way to grow peace lily is with the roots directly in the water. I use planter baskets that I make from egg crate ceiling panels to set the plants in. These help support the plants, but also allow the roots to grow freely in the water column. And this method works sufficiently to remove nutrients, but we can also grow peace lily in the substrate. Well, depending on how tall your tank and plants are, you can place your peace lily on top of the substrate, meaning whatever your substrate level is, set the peace lily on top of it and put enough gravel or other media on the roots to anchor the plant. Now always make sure the majority of the leaves are above the water. Growing peace lily this way can look really cool, but it can also make a huge positive impact on the health of your substrate. Now the third method, which is my favorite, is to allow the roots to grow through the water column and into the substrate simultaneously. This way they're getting double the feeding action, double the nutrients, and double the filtration. And I've watched these small peace lilies go from struggling and stunted to now they're becoming lush and beautiful, and they're even starting to form flowers. Well, you may be thinking to yourself, these methods sound like they could work, but how do I really know if it's going to save me on water changes? Well, that's why it's important to test your water periodically, especially if you were adding peace lily to an existing tank that's full of fish, but also in a new setup as well. This is the way that you gauge the need for water changes, and it also gives you a way to measure the effectiveness of the number or size of plants that you are using. If you are still performing the same number of water changes 2 or 3 months later, well, you may need to add more plants. And this is why in the beginning I like to add more plants than I think I will need, because it saves me that frustration, and it also helps me see results more quickly. So not only does peace lily filter excess nutrients from the water, but its roots provide an incredible amount of surface area in the water for beneficial bacteria to colonize. thereby improving the biological filtration. Let's look at an illustration of what I'm talking about. Here are your peace lily stems coming out of the planter basket, the Riparium planter, and all throughout the water you're going to have, of course, your primary roots from the plant. Well, you're also going to have secondary roots branching off. Now, these are the feeder roots that increase absorption of nutrients, but also it's giving more structure to the existing roots. So you're improving your surface area for all the beneficial bacteria. Now, as the plant continues to get bigger, you're going to have tertiary feeder roots that come off of the secondary, which continues to increase your surface area for bacteria. So these bacteria are colonizing these roots, and they are also feeding on the excess nutrients in the water. Well, there are many different house plants that we can grow in a riparium or a fish tank, but peace lily is definitely at the top of the list for its adaptability and water filtering potential. Well, give these steps a shot and let me know how they work for you. Well, thanks for watching and for your support, and remember, it's all about the plants.